So I've been playing Rising Storm 2's beta this weekend. I have to say I really enjoy the game. The graphics look good. I mean, they're not Battlefield 1. I see a lot of people complaining about this on the forums, but they look good. I mean, what do you want? Game's on Unreal. It looks good. It runs very well, at least on my computer. Um, my computer is the specs are a Gigabyte GTX 960, 4 gig, an AMD FX 6300 processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and Windows 8.1. And I was playing at 1080p, and most of the time I had full 60 FPS because I had VSync on and such. But during times of like a lot of explosions, like when a helicopter would come in, or there'd be, I think, not an AC-130, but there was a plane similar to an AC-130 would come in, it would definitely bring down the frame rate because of all the explosions. Or if someone was throwing, if there was a lot of grenades, like the frame rate would go down into like the 40s. I found. Or on this big jungle map didn't run very well. It ran at like 30 to 40 FPS, very going up and down a lot, depending on where I was looking in the map. So the gunplay felt very good in this game. I actually really like the gunplay. I didn't think I would, because it's like, oh, it's very realistic, or maybe more authentic-ish. So, yeah, one of the things I really liked was the recoil. I didn't think I would like having to deal with the recoil of the gun, but I found that to be a lot more enjoyable than just not thinking about the recoil and just kind of pointing like you do in Call of Duty, where you don't really have to move down or move the sights back on target, where it's just you have a laser beam almost. So the AK series of rifles, and I think the Chinese type something, they tended to have a lot of recoil, especially in full auto. So I tended to use them in a semi-auto, which kind of just made them feel like, oh, I'm using a SKS, which kind of felt weird because like there's an SKS in one of the or a couple of the North Vietnamese classes. So I don't know. Yeah, yeah, just kind of felt like the AK just had a large amount of recoil compared to like a lot of the other guns. Especially the M16. The M16 felt like it had extremely low recoil, but I guess that was one of the major points of the M16 and its smaller 223 caliber round compared to the AK's bigger 30 or 7.62 by 39, which is 30 caliber. Yeah. Though I really like the M14. I'll have another gameplay video of me using the M14 on the big jungle map that I said like doesn't run so well, and I was getting some long range shots with it. I just found the M14 like super easy to use. Like everything about the M14 was just good. Because it's like, oh, you shoot 5 rounds out of it, you don't have to use a detachable magazine. You can load a stripper clip in. It's got a lot of power. It's got a lot of range. The iron sights are really easy to use. The M14 was just great all around. Though it couldn't go full auto, but you could just click the mouse really fast. So yeah, there is kind of a problem I have with the game, and this isn't a huge problem. I mean, it's not like there's a game break. It's not really game breaking. Well, it sort of is for me, but this problem is that the game is not really friendly to people who have a hard time using a keyboard. See, I have I think the disease is called hermiotrophia or hermiotrophy. It's basically where one of your limbs, either your leg or your arm, is smaller than the other limb. Like, my left arm is smaller than my right arm. It's not a huge difference for me. Like, if just looking, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. But if you actually measured, like, you'd see that it's smaller. Especially going from the shoulder down to the elbow, and then my hand is kind of messed up. And with my hand being messed up, it's really kind of hard to use keyboard. Because really only my thumb and pointer finger work well. So this is why I bought Razer Tararus. It's like a little keypad thing. I'll have it on the screen. I'll edit it in. It kind of shrinks the keyboard down to like almost controller size, but you still have a good amount of keys. I think there's a bigger version with more keys, but as I said, keys are kind of hard to use. So the game has a lot of different buttons. I found like it has all your regular FPS controls, WASD, crouch, prone, reload, that stuff. But you have a lot of other kind of buttons that you need to use in this game, like leaning. You need to use. The gun that I primarily used in the background footage right now is like a Chinese AK with like an underfolding stock, and there was a separate button where you could fold and unfold the stock. And you had to make it more close quarters, but it gave it a lot more recoil because you obviously don't have a stock. Also, there's a select fire. Like there's another button you had to use for select fire, which it's kind of we're getting into a lot of buttons here for my hand to use. And I think there was more, like if you're in a helicopter to get out, it's like a separate button, and there's a lot of buttons that I and maybe even more disabled people than me who maybe have no use over their left arm or no left arm at all, probably be really hard to play the game. I mean, I sort of managed, as you see in the background footage, but whenever I tried to use my other fingers, they would lock up a lot, and that's what happens whenever I try to use them all. So yeah, this is why I kind of stick to a console gaming, or when I'm on PC, I try to play games that use a controller, or maybe are more easily configured to a controller. Like I play Fallout a lot, and Skyrim, and Castlevania. Castlevania works really well with a controller. So, yeah, I was just kind of thinking about this and wanted to make a video about it. I don't know if this game would work really well on a controller, but I imagine some channels will try to make it work. Cause, I know that some people have been asking on the forums, on the Steam forums, and it seemed that whenever someone asked if there was going to be any controller support, the community generally got hostile towards the person asking, saying, "Oh, you should get good," or "Oh my God, I hate these people that ask for controller support." It's like, "Ugh, this is a PC game." It's like, some people like me and other more disabled people want to play games, but controller or a keyboard isn't really something they can use because there's a lot of buttons. So yeah, I wonder if any of the channels, like there's a lot of channels that kind of do through third-party software, like link games to controllers. Like I remember Existential Egg, I think his channel's called. He linked like all of Arma to like a PS4 controller. Yeah, all of Arma to a PS4 controller, and which is just it's amazing. I'll have that linked in the description. Like, and he also did it on a Steam controller. And I think he made Far Cry 1 you could play with one hand on a controller, with a Steam controller, using the gyro aim. Really cool channel. I'll have him linked in the description. You should go check him out. So yeah. And finally, this is a bit random, but does anyone have any gaming mice recommendations? I currently use a Logitech G500, which has been discontinued, so I can't buy a new one, and mine, I feel it's going. Like, it's double clicking, and I feel the laser's kind of going. I really like this mouse. It fits my hand perfectly, It has a little spot for your thumb. But, I was kind of thinking about, like, one of those mice I saw with all the buttons on the side. I think they're called, like, MMO mice or something. Not really sure. I think there's one. Corsair has one. I think Razer has one. They have tons of buttons on the side, so I thought that'd be really cool for me. Just less keyboard use, the better. Maybe I could configure some of the Red Orchestra commands so I could use my right hand, my good hand, rather than having to use it on a keyboard where I can't really use it, So yeah, that's been the video. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. I don't think I did too bad. I was doing pretty good with this Chinese AK. I actually like it more than the regular AK, the Russian AKM. I think because of the front sight is actually like hooded, and it makes it have like a different sight picture, which I found almost like a G3 in a way because it's more German. It looks more German in a way. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the gameplay, or don't. Call me names in the comment section, whatever. So yeah, bye.
We have a lost Charlie. Scout, report in.
Why we get pushed back so far?
Don't worry, I'm going behind enemy lines.
Oh my god, the fire!
You guys going behind enemy.
I don't want to go behind. I have big bars. Alright,
You distract them, I'll stab them in the dick. We got this.
Blow up my mark with artillery, we win the game.
Rajin bound. Take cover. Anti-air defenses are active. Scout, reporting. Here goes the being attacked. Delta is being attacked. We have a lost Delta.
Drop soup, I can take by mistake. You order egg drop soup, or I give you by mistake.
Eco is being attacked. Eco is being attacked.
I give you the career of the eye.
We are taking Delta.
I hope the island is fully.
I have made it. I have hit the American line. Somebody hum the Middle Gear theme. I got this.
We have taken Delta.
Hold on, next week.
The GI right behind you. Guy who's in E. You got your ass beat from.
I'm in E on top of the building.
Oh, you on building? Okay, I'll go on top of the D and put the map there and put the GI on this side. You go boom boom and I can hear it.
We have a lost Eco.
Oh, welcome to Razer. I'm a be honest.
Scout reported.
Man, like right that should be just people.
I like bulletproof or some shit.
We are taking Echo.
Get them cheap and make them
We are taking Echo.
made, passed down by generation to generation.
We are taking Echo. Barrage inbound. Take cover.
Me and the Ho Chi Minh go wrong. Her name is Bessie. She's the water.
We have taken Echo.
Water buffalo good for the.
Delta is being attacked. We have lost Delta. We are taking Delta. We have taken Delta.
Oh, I do that. I did it really good. I got the alcohol and then got the curry junk and then did it and then I didn't feel anything. Problem is though the next day like I had to draw shower, right?
Holy shit.
I got the pretty big tip to the whole house. Tip was pretty big. Y'all can't do anything to get back in because if we lose E, we know the whole back down, you know, that makes me feel good. Got tired of playing.
We have lost Eco. Scout, report in. We are taking Echo.
Paying me, thank you.
We have taken Echo.
You're not welcome in my world, PI.
Capture and object.
nearly there.
We have a lost Delta.
Yeah, that'll teach you, Charlie. Kill that tool. I'm reloading. Chúng sẽ đẩy lùi chúng ta.
Oh shit, my man, man, my man.
We have a lost eco.
Right next to you.
Last stand. Don't surrender. Retreat, so we can attack once more.
Oh shit, man, where is the top point?
Swapping side.